What is good, guys? I'm going to use Pixlr to draw a famous person and turn them into a pop art masterpiece. We'll start by Googling for large images of the person that we choose. Under Tools is a size option that will let you pick only from large size images. I've chosen actor-comedian Eddie Murphy. He's one of my favorite people in the movies. And now as we look, we want a nice portrait, and we have to decide, what do we really want to have to draw here? And I am choosing a picture where Eddie is smiling, but his mouth is closed, so that I don't have to draw teeth. So we're going to save that photo internally to our computer. Now we're going to go over to Pixlr and open up the picture there. We don't need to start a new project. We just need to open Pixlr E, choose Open Image. So now we have a couple of things to do in order to make this work. We want to draw over the photo. So we're going to add a new blank layer to draw on, just like a piece of tracing paper. We're going to unlock the layer. You can see the photo is on top of, a blank background. Now we're going to do another new layer. We're going to move it behind the background layer, and we're going to fill it with white. This will give us the effect of drawing on white paper, and it'll make it really easy to check our work when we go and turn off the photo layer for a moment. Now we're switching to the brush tool, and it's going to be set to black as our drawing color. I like to draw this with a soft and small brush. We don't want it to be too hard-edged, but we do want it to be solid enough that we can tell that we are intentionally drawing what we see. Now we're zooming in with the zoom tool on the top right of Pixlr, and I like to start out with something very definitive like the eye. So the rules for drawing, just like anything if you were to draw on paper, is only draw what you see. So I'm going to try to follow the outlines of all of the parts of his face, and I'm going to try to draw closed shapes. So if you can see what I mean here, this oval I just drew is solid on both ends. It doesn't stay wide open, and really that's true to life. No lines on anybody's face that make up their lines of their eye, for example, are open. This is important later when we add color. So there is first eye drawn. You want to draw some of the lines around your person's facial features like their eyes, but not too many lines. And don't make up lines. With eyebrows, just draw a basic outline shape as if you were, painting them on almost. You cannot draw every hair, and you can't worry about the accuracy. Turn off your photo occasionally to see how you're doing. Correct any errors you might see when you turn off the photo. Depending on what your person's nose looks like, we have a tendency when we draw to think that we have to darken things that are, dark from the lighting. So like you see Eddie's nostrils here. We're not going to draw black circles inside of his nose. We're just going to draw the shape of his nose, because we're going to deal with color at a different, in a different way. And we're going to deal with color later. So we are going to draw the shape of the outlines of the parts of his nose. We're not going to draw, the only choice we have to make is we're not going to draw lines going up the nose on both sides. This tends to make the three-dimensional nose look like a skeleton, or like the nose is pasted on. So that nose works for us. And this is the side I'm choosing to draw the line on, because it kind of looks like he's turned in that direction. So use your judgment. Just note the size of the photo that I'm using, how much detail there is, that it isn't very much more than his head and the top of his upper body. And portraits are usually from the top of the upper body and the shoulders to the top of their head, and that's it. I drew this with a trackpad. It was not easy. So I had to take my time and work out the challenges that I had. Eddie has facial hair here. I'm drawing a little jagged bottom line there because it is, what they call a soul patch, and it is, not perfect. Although, obviously, Eddie had a nice shave for the big event that he went to here. So as we again zoom in and out, I am trying to get an overall feel for what the picture looks like and not just get hyper focused on the one tiny area that I'm working on. Uh, as I said at the beginning, draw everything you see. Try not to draw things that aren't there. The ear can be a complicated thing to try to draw. To try to be correct to that basic shape of the ear and the insides of the ear, try to just suggest the shapes that are going on in there without it getting overly complicated. We are essentially making a cartoon style drawing that is not necessarily supposed to represent what what his ear really looks like. Lines on the face. Well, we spoke earlier. I said, you want to draw things that are there and don't draw things that are not there. So, dimples where someone is smirking or smiling, those are kind of important. Otherwise, your face might kind of look kind of generic. Now, here's other details like, the neck going into his shirt. Your person is wearing clothes, so draw the clothes. Otherwise, a portrait might look a little weird. The hairline of a man, especially this guy right here, that's important to draw because we're going to have two different colors on his head where his hair is, and you have to draw that line. If it's a woman with or a person with longer hair, you want to draw the longer hair because that is part of their character and what they look like, on that particular day that the photo was taken. So as you get further along, you'll think you're getting closer to being done, but in reality, there's a lot of details to draw, and I'm going to continue to work on mine, and I want you to focus and do a really nice job. First, selecting a nice big photo to work with of a person that you're a fan of, that you like, and you're going to want to continue to draw. We're making pop art out of this, so you could look up information about pop art and see what that means for us next. But just remember the accuracy of the imagery, the detail, the closed shapes that you might have to draw and fix, and following through with all of the details, including clothing. So we'll connect about this in the next part of the project to do more. And I look forward to seeing what you make.